Our trip began on September 4th when we caught a flight from DFW to London's Heathrow Airport. We flew business class, so that made the flight more comfortable. From Heathrow, we were bused to Southampton, England, where we boarded our ship, the Caribbean Princess, for the cruise. We went right up to our room to await our luggage and prepare for the life preserver drill. We had time to take in the view from our balcony. It is a rather industrial view that we have seen before. At the appointed time, we went to our muster stations to complete the life preserver drill. It wasn't long before we were underway, sailing toward Rotterdam. Rotterdam is a city in the south of Holland. Nowadays, it is home to Europe's largest port. Rotterdam's logistics success is based on its strategic location on the North Sea. The Caribbean Princess docked in Rotterdam and we boarded the buses for our trip into Amsterdam, a distance of about 35 miles. We, however, took the scenic route to Amsterdam, looking at the landscape away from the freeway. The countryside of Holland is very beautiful and very complex, too complex for this commentary. Let's just say that we saw many of the polders that make up much of the Holland countryside. A polder is defined as a low-lying tract of land enclosed by dikes that form an artificial hydrological entity, meaning it has no connection with the outside water other than through manually operated devices. Maintaining polders is a very exacting matter. The windmills that dot the landscape are integral to maintaining the polders. As you can see, the area is very flat and very low. Once in Amsterdam, our guide explained the traffic flow. There are streets for cars, some with rails for mass transit trains. There are sidewalks for pedestrians, and then there are separate sidewalks or streets for bicycles. On the bicycle streets, the bicycles have the right-of-way. And of course, there are canals for boats. After a little sightseeing, we got off the bus in front of the American Book Center. From there, we walked a few blocks before finding a Delft store. This was just what Janice was looking for. She made several purchases there. We walked around a little more until it was again time to work our way back to the American Book Center and get back on the bus. This time we were on our way to the Van Gogh Museum, a stop we were anxious to make. No pictures were allowed inside, but this was a wonderful stop. When we boarded our bus again, we were going to go to dinner. It was in a fine old restaurant in downtown Amsterdam. We had two friendly ladies as our dinner mates, Jean from New York and Nina from Florida. We enjoyed our time with them. After dinner, we gathered outside the restaurant where we waited on the sidewalk. We were careful to stay out of the bicycle street where the bicycles had the right-of-way. From the restaurant, we began a walk to a point where we would get on a canal boat to get that view. The walk was longer than we wanted. We even walked back by the Delft store that we had visited earlier. We paused at a park that attracted a lot of attention. It was Rembrandt Square, and the square is a cast iron statue of Rembrandt made in 1852 by sculptor Louis Royer. As a part of the celebration of Rembrandt's 400th birthday in 2006, a bronze cast representation of his most famous painting, The Night Watch, by Russian artists Mikhail Dronov and Alexander Turianov, was put on display around the Royer work. As we walked on, one of Amsterdam's mass transportation trains came by. Our canal boat was docked across the canal from the National Opera and Ballet Center. A canal boat is not the best place from which to take pictures, so I don't have much from this part of our excursion.
Behind me. But look at the houses on your right hand side and look at them top down and see what problems they have with the foundations. If you look at the houses top down, you can see that they're lucky to have a house next door. And that's exactly the problem here. And I stand up next door, so you start including them.
We did float by Anne Frank's home, but we didn't see much but the long lines. Next time we want to visit it. One building we thought was uniquely Amsterdam. It was a huge bicycle parking garage for thousands and thousands of bicycles. That was it for Amsterdam. The next day was a day at sea. We used it to rest, relax, and look around the ship. That evening was formal night, so we had some pictures made. It had been a good start to our cruise.